$37,521 in 2019, $5,223 in 2020, and $53,692 in 2021. That's how much money I made as an Excel freelancer in the last 3 years. That adds up to a total of $96,436 or roughly $100,000. So in this video, I want to share how I made around $100,000 as an Excel freelancer. I want to start off this video with 3 disclaimers and then we'll get into the good stuff. The number 1 disclaimer, and this is the most important one, I'm not trying to make this video to show off how much money I make or anything. Instead, I want to kind of have a conversation out there so that some of the mystery or the enigma around how the whole freelancing world works kind of goes away. When I started, I had a lot of this, so I thought, putting this out there is a reasonable way for people to come in with the realistic expectations and get started and enjoy the process. And the second thing that I want to highlight is freelancing is not the only way I make money. As you can probably guess, I make money through running training programs, conducting live in-house training programs for corporates, selling some products, a little bit of money through the YouTube channel. So everything adds up, and at the end of the day, I have enough to support my lifestyle. So while freelancing could be a profitable and fruitful way for somebody to make a living, for me, freelancing is one of the many sources of income. And the third disclaimer that I want to highlight is the $100,000 figure that I'm quoting here is for the last 3 years. So it's not an annual income or anything, because as I said, freelancing is not the only way I make money. So 100,000 is just for last 3 years. If I add up all the freelancing money that I made since I started my Chandoo.org journey in late 2009, early 2010, it would probably add up to more than $400,000 or something like that. So I don't really know exactly how much it is because we moved countries and all of that. So on that note, let's get into the good stuff. Just as every superhero has their origin story, my journey into Excel freelancing also has its origin story. It all began on the Christmas Eve of 2008. And obviously it's a holiday, so I was kind of lazy and randomly checked my email. And then I had this email from a gentleman from Denmark asking if I provide any Excel services for hire. I didn't know what to do. I read the email and I was kind of hesitant because by then I was already running my website and sharing Excel related information on the website, but it was just a hobby because I have a full-time job and I was pretty happy with where I am in the job. But I thought, why not just give it a try? So I replied back to the gentleman and then said, yeah, sure, I will do some consulting work for you. And that's how it really began. That brings us to the second story, which is the hourly rate problem. So as soon as I replied to the Danish gentleman, I didn't know what to charge them, what the real work is. So I emailed John Peltier, one of my mentors and a very I consider him a guru. So I emailed John and I asked, hey John, what is it that I should charge for this kind of a work? And John provided me some outline and suggested that, this is how much you can charge if you want to do consulting work. But this is all back in 2008, 2009. So whatever advice John gave me in those days is probably not relevant in 2022 or 23 whenever you're watching this video. So I'm gonna kind of fast forward that and tell you what is an appropriate rate to charge when you are doing your freelancing work. I'll first tell you how much I charge and then kind of give you the rationale behind it. These days I charge anywhere between 120 to 150, 160 US dollars per hour for consulting work. if you go and search online in any of the freelancing websites like Fiverr or Upwork, etc., you will see that there is hourly rates for Excel people all over the place, probably as low as $5 an hour to all the way up to $100 and $150, $200 per hour. So depending on your skill, your prior experience, and your comfort level, you may want to choose an hourly rate that works best for you. Now let's fast forward the whole thing to 2016. This is when we as a family decided to move from India to New Zealand and start life afresh here. That also means I no longer have any of the contacts or friends or any of that network that I built in India when I was doing some of the freelancing work. So I had to literally start afresh when I moved to New Zealand. And so I can kind of relate that if you are you're trying to become a freelancer, then probably you would be in the same place as I am back in 2016 when I had to start afresh in New Zealand. As I got here, I emailed some of the people that I have previously made contacts with, Jeff and few other people that I knew in New Zealand, and I asked them, hey, let me know if there is any opportunities for me to do some freelancing work or contract or consulting work. And that's how it kind of became another thing for me in New Zealand, and I started getting more and more opportunities because I reached out to people. So that is another important thing, especially if you are starting your own journey. Then you need to ask people to hire you or show you an opportunity. If you don't ask, if you just sit in your own room and think that something is going to come your way, you're not going to get it. So that's the story number 3. And that brings us to story number 4. Before moving to New Zealand, I have done zero work in the human resources space. All my prior work experience has been in the data analytics for large corporations as well as insurance and financial services. So that's really where my specialty was. But after coming to New Zealand, one of the very first consulting engagements that I got was to do some HR reporting for a government ministry here. I didn't know anything, but I told them this at the interview level. I said that, hey, I don't know much about HR, but I do know a lot about data, SQL, Excel, everything. So I can do the work there. I will probably take a little while to learn about the HR side of things. And then after doing that project and then a couple of other projects, I became the HR specialist. So now, anytime there is some sort of a deep HR related reporting scenario, some of the recruiters or some of the consulting agencies, they reach out to me and then say, hey, are you able to do this for them? Because I have done that. So this is another valuable life lesson for everybody who is out there. Even if you do not have prior experience in an industry, you can quickly gain it. And in a span of 3 to 5 years, you can become a reasonably good level of expert in that area. I'm not saying world-class expert. I'm nowhere near that. But I feel very comfortable in a situation like HR where I had no prior experience. Now I can get in and then solve problems using Excel or Power BI for them. So that's the story number 4. My first suggestion is ask your network, because when you want to become a freelancer, you have all the will and thought and everything, but you don't know how to get started, how to get your first few projects, because those are the confidence boosters. So this is how I have done when obviously the initial project came to me by email, but later I started enjoying the work. So I would put an email out, or I would reach out to some of my contacts and then say, hey, I'm doing this. Would you be interested? So that's how I got work. Reach out to people who have professionally experienced you. So maybe you're working as a data analyst in the organization. So reach out to your colleagues who moved on to other organizations, or your previous bosses who are now working in different scenarios in the company or somewhere else, and then tell them that you are doing freelancing work now and ask them if they have got any projects for you. The second suggestion that I have for you is figure out your true hourly rate. let's say you get $60,000 as salary. That's your current annual salary. So for $60,000, typical working situation would be you work 50 weeks per year. Every week you're working 5 days and each day you're working 8 hours. So that adds up to 2,000 hours and $60,000 is your salary. So your hourly rate in the job would be $30 per hour. So if you have to replace at the bare minimum your entire salary with your consulting or freelancing money, then you need to charge $30 per hour. But this is where things get tricky. In a job, you just show up and you have the work. It's not your job to find the work. When you get into the office, the work is already waiting for you. Whereas as a freelancer, it is your job to find the work and then do it. So you will have to spend a lot of time just finding the work, writing proposals, reaching out to people, bidding on projects and all sorts of things. So this is where that time you're not going to earn anything. So conservatively, we can estimate that maybe that is 50% of your time. So in a year, if you're working 2,000 hours, 1,000 hours you're just finding the work and the other 1,000 hours you're just earning it. So that means you need to earn 60,000 in 1,000 hours. So probably $60 an hour. And that's a good starting hourly rate for you. Now at this point, you might be thinking, ooh, $60 an hour, that's a little steep. Who is gonna pay me that much when I have no experience? And this is where the third suggestion I have for you comes in, which is think of your first several projects, not even 1, 2, but first several projects as your learning experience. Okay, don't think of them as this is how I'll make money. Think of them as these are the projects through which I'm going to learn how to be a better freelancer, a better free consultant. So one way I would view these things are, I'll charge them maybe $10, $15, $20, whatever it is that I can get. I'll charge them that. But if I work maybe 200 hours on $10 projects, essentially I am getting 200 hours of experience. And I'm also getting paid for that. So I'm learning and then I'm getting paid for that. This is like going to college and the college is paying you a little bit of money. So essentially you're going to the freelance college, learning all the mistakes, all the wrong things that you can do. And in return, someone is paying you money. So view the first few projects like that. This is also where if you have a job, then maybe doing freelancing on the side would be helpful, like a side hustle for a few years or few months, whatever is your comfort factor. And then once you have the confidence, once you have built your profile, once you have got everything ready, that's when you can go and do freelancing full time. So this is where using a website like Upwork or Fiverr would be very helpful. I've got some links for that. So that's the third suggestion. And the fourth suggestion is if the work finds you, you will be in a better position. You can negotiate for a better rate. You can ask them whatever you want and they will pay you. For example, many years ago, Microsoft Excel team, Microsoft itself asked me, hey, are you willing to build some Excel templates for us? Right? This is really big. Like even today, I look back and I think, oh my God, that was like the opportunity of my lifetime. So I immediately said yes. But even though I immediately said yes, I also told them clearly what my hourly rate is. In fact, I kind of almost quoted them 100% more than what my current hourly rate at that point was. And they were still willing to pay me that much. Simply because the dynamic there is that they are asking me for work rather than me asking for them for work. So I had the bargaining chip. I simply said, yes, I will do it for you, but this is what I'm charging. And they were happy to pay that. They got quality work. I got a really good experience of working with Microsoft. So this is where if you build your profile as a freelancer, that will put you in a better position so that the people can find you and ask you to do the work. So maybe have a good website or have a YouTube channel or something else where people can perceive you as the expert in the industry for a certain topic or two, and then that will put you in a better situation. So I always encourage freelancers to have their own web page at the bare minimum and then start talking about the technologies that they are passionate about. This way, people will find you, oh yes, this person knows what they're talking about, let's go and get them to do some of the work for us. So that's my fourth practical suggestion for you. Hi, my name is Chandoo and my mission is to make you awesome in your work. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if this is your first time here, a big hearty welcome to the channel. I do give a free Excel tips book to all my viewers, so feel free to check that out. The link for that is on the video description. I'll catch you again somewhere else. Bye bye.